find some dudes up there in the trees, kind of starting to poke their heads out.
I think the best move is for us to stay put. So the scale of what is going on out here is extraordinary. To see what these guys have found and trying to determine if there's any DNA worth collecting. Look at this place. This ceiling's gonna come down on us. Back up, back up, back up. Back up! Look at this thing!
Yeah!
Intact! Hey, moment of truth.
My name is Josh Gates,
Look at that!
with a degree in archaeology and a passion for exploration. I have a tendency to end up in some very strange situations.
This is horrible. This is officially horrible.
My travels have taken me to the ends of the earth
Back up!
as I investigate the greatest legends in history.
We're good to fly, let's go.
This is Expedition Unknown. The woolly mammoth, the largest mammal ever to walk the earth. Over 12 feet tall and weighing several tons, the mammoth ruled the Ice Age, dominating northern Europe, North America, and Asia. Yet sometime around 11,000 years ago, they started vanishing from the planet. To explain the rise and fall of the woolly mammoth, I visited Canadian gold mines, where high-powered water cannons are revealing ancient bones trapped in permafrost.
Oh my God!
And I flew to Seoul, South Korea to visit Soam Biotech, a laboratory pioneering the controversial technology of cloning.
Cloning. Look at that.
They hope to turn science fiction into fact by resurrecting the mammoth from extinction. But to make their dream a reality, they need something elusive, a strand of intact mammoth DNA. So I flew to Siberia to join scientists Alexei Tikhonov and Simeon Grigoriev on a daring expedition, hunting for pristine remains buried in the frozen ground for thousands of years.
Welcome to Batagay crater.
Whoa.
The crater is a terrifying wonder, a mile-wide sinkhole that formed after locals cut down trees atop vast mountains of permafrost.
The whole wall is literally just disintegrating.
The rapidly eroding ice offers a snapshot of over 300,000 years of history. After rappelling down into the crater, our team has discovered the femur of a woolly mammoth from the Pleistocene era. And we're about to learn if this leg has the DNA I've traveled 13,000 miles to find.
Look at this!
Oh my God.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, you see this spongy structure?
That's marrow, yeah?
Yes, its marrow is very well preserved.
Wow, okay. A really good piece of bone.
We bag our first potential DNA specimen. The more we get, the better our chances of finding clone-worthy material. We continue to scan the collapsing landscape, which suddenly reveals a second mammoth bone.
Guys, another one here?
Oh, great.
Yeah? Here.
It's a big one.
Here.
Heavy one. Oh.
Okay, good. Well, that means twice as many bones, right? What do you think? Maybe from the same mammoth? Tusk!
Oh, really?
You got a tusk?
Okay, great.
What do you got? Oh, all these pieces, all broken, yeah? Trapped in the ice. Still in the ice.
Still nice, yes.
Tusks.
Tusks, yeah, pieces of tusks.
Even though the tusk is badly damaged and crushed in the ice, we'll be able to take a sample for later analysis. We continue to scour the mud at the bottom of the treacherous crater, and eventually, we send the lab specimen cooler back up to the surface.
Okay, hoist it up.
Our team on the crater's rim pulls it to safety. As for us, we're forced to hike the long way around. With our first samples on ice, we're ready to continue our search for mammoth DNA. The crater is located above the Arctic Circle in a remote northern region of Siberia. From here, we drive to the nearest and, well, only city around.
Welcome to Batagay. This frontier settlement is home to about 4,000 people, though to be honest, I've only seen about a half a dozen of them. Back in its heyday, it was an industrial town. It had an active tin mine, it had a logging industry. It was also home to gulags, the famous Soviet forced labor camps. But all of that is in the past. Today, Batagay feels more like a ghost town, a place that's barely hanging on against the edge of the Siberian wilderness.
There's not much by way of sightseeing here, and after our adventure at the crater, I'm feeling famished. So I pop into a local restaurant for a casual bite to eat. Fairly confident I've just woken up in a Siberian Wes Anderson movie, I do my best to ignore the charming art, which I'm hoping isn't also on the menu.
Aha!
Local delicacy, horse and venison.
Horse and venison. Got it. Is this for one person? All this? I guess she's just staying there. A lot of pressure. Looks like Seabiscuit lost that last race. Sorry, buddy.
Much of the local economy that's left around here revolves around the trade of mammoth ivory. So in order to find a source for the DNA we need, Alexei has linked us up with someone who's connected. A local craftsman who carves sculptures out of mammoth ivory.
Приветствую. Здравствуй, дорогой. Здорово. Здорово, босс. Это Джош.
Nice to meet you. You made this? Wow. Really intricate. Can you show me how you do this? I'm like mystified by how you get a block of ivory to turn into this.
Ivan grabs a small piece of ivory and goes to work. First with a sanding wheel, then a fine grinding tool. Mammoth tusk is much denser than elephant ivory, but in less time than it takes to brush my teeth, he's able to give me a taste of what he can do.
That's insane.
Надо посмотреть.
Come on. That's crazy.
You can try to...
For me to make this?
Yes, sure.
I have a funny feeling it's not going to look like this. I'll try. Okay? And do what? Can somebody cue up a good Unchained Melody knockoff? I feel like Demi Moore in Ghost right now. I know, I'm trying to concentrate. I'm falling in love with you, so it's hard. This is the one where I lose my hand.
Oh,
Fine, hold on, I just dropped it here. Let me just grab it.
exactly.
Oh, here we go. Perfect. What do you think? I mean, it's my first try, but it's not bad, right? You know.
Ivan's tusk carving is impressive, but it also raises questions that could be important as we press on in our hunt for DNA.
Is this type of ivory carving legal?
It's absolutely legal, yeah, because you just pick up this ivory from the melted sediments, from the melted deposits in tundra, in forest, yeah.
So humane ivory.
Human ivory, yeah.
Where do you get the ivory from?
Ну, твоя работа, конечно, замечательная, но откуда ты получаешь эту мамонтовую кость?
Even though this is legal, so-called humane ivory is banned in most of the world. People here are often very guarded about revealing their sources, but in this case, we seem to be in luck.
Да, у меня есть поставщик на севере.
He has a dealer from the north of the republic, yeah, and he will come.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure, it's possible.
Могу позвонить?
He can call
Yeah.
just now, yeah.
Sure, go
Yeah,
ahead.
please.
Ivan calls up his dealer
Алло!
and has to convince him to meet us, which makes this whole thing start to feel all kinds of shady.
Выходим, ага.
But about a half hour later, his tusk dealer arrives.
And have you met this guy or no?
No, it's first time, yeah.
That's him?
I knew our expedition would take us to the edge of the map. Now it seems it's taking us to the edge of the law. I'm in northern Siberia with a team from SOAM Biotech Labs, attempting to clone the woolly mammoth. On our hunt for preserved mammoth DNA, we've been hooked up with a mammoth ivory dealer who may have a potential source. But the tusk hunting business is a legal gray area in Russia, and it involves the kind of guys who usually sell stuff off the back of their truck.
Здорово.
Здорово. Чё, как?
Нормально.
Hello, I'm Josh.
Приветствую, Михаил.
Nice to meet you. The ivory that Ivan carves with, he gets from you?
Да, правильно, привожу.
Yes, it's
Yeah?
right.
You have it here?
Yeah.
Да,
Yeah, yeah, can we see it?
Yes, so it's
на
Oh my
поделочке.
God, that's all ivory. Look at this, it's huge. And heavy, really heavy. And look
it
at
was
that.
a big male around 50, 60 years old.
Ты тоже возьми.
This is a female.
If I were to buy all of this, both bags, how much would that cost for all of the ivory here?
Вот весь этот товар сколько стоит?
Поторгуешь?
$5,000.
5,000. Will he say where this is coming from? Can we ask him where it's coming from?
Окей. Миша, откуда у тебя весь этот материал?
С севера вожу. Здесь Юниген называется.
The name of this site is Unigen.
Unigen.
Unigen, yeah. It's not a town, only wild teams of mammoth ivory hunters. It's quite a remote place. No law, no police.
So it's Deadwood.
It's a dangerous place.
And is there more of this stuff up there?
Alexei speaks in hushed tones with the ivory dealer. If Unigen is his source, then it could be a potential treasure trove of mammoth DNA. Still, it's one thing to ask where his supply comes from, but it's quite another to ask if we can go visit.
Too many questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me to talk a little bit. Let me explain for him about our scientific mission.
Okay.
I have to say, none of this feels legitimate. But Unigen could be our best chance for finding the crucial DNA we're looking for. All we have to do is somehow negotiate our passage with black market raiders into an isolated wilderness with no law to speak of.
Василий,
Научная организация. Мы едем, чтобы...
что это вам даст? Василий и Петро там.
Josh, he gave to me some names
Okay.
for this place.
And are they good contacts? Yeah?
The place to start here.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Спасибо,
it.
Миша.
Thank you for your time. A lot of boats.
Yeah.
After a lot of phone calls to a lot of unlisted numbers, Alexei makes the decision. We'll attempt to travel to the tusk hunting camps at Unigen. The site is deep up the Yana River, and Alexei has assembled a crack team to get us there, including additional backup from SOAM Labs back in Korea.
Nice to meet you.
In-sung Hwang is a veteran of several expeditions to find mammoth DNA, and he's well-versed in both the science and diplomacy of mammoth hunting.
In-sung, nice to meet you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, I'm good, I'm good. You work with the SUAM lab, yeah?
Right. So we potentially found this new site. Alexei told me. We've never been there. This is the only method of transportation that's available to us. There's no roads leading there. We have to travel up north 200 kilometers from here, so it's pretty far.
Will we be welcome up there?
We don't really know. Because it's a brand new site.
A lot of new
Right.
hunters.
A lot of hunters are going to be there, and it's impossible to tell whether they have the license to actually collect ivory from that site.
So there's illegal stuff going on up there.
Right. We're treading into a very gray area, and we might as well be cautious.
Okay, let's load up.
All right.
Come on.
Let's go.
Great.
That's good.
A strange mission up a remote river to an unknown destination where people have every reason to be hostile to us. The whole thing feels very Apocalypse Now. But no one said finding mammoth DNA was going to be a walk in the park. Our team climbs aboard every available boat in the area, as well as a hovercraft, where Alexei, In-sung, and I will lead the convoy. We're headed 120 miles north of the last outpost of civilization to a lawless frontier camp where anything could happen. It's a journey that will take over 10 hours up the frigid river. Where we're going, there are no roads, no law, and in these summer months, no night.
This is the real Siberia. We're more than 100 miles above the Arctic Circle and continuing farther north.
A few months from now, this trip wouldn't be possible. This river will be frozen solid, and temperatures all across Siberia will plummet. But in this brief window, it's possible for us to push north and to see these really remote parts of Russia. There are hundreds of miles of untouched wilderness laid out in front of us like a carpet. And we're the only people around to appreciate its stunning beauty. The farther north we go, the colder it gets, and the reality of our isolation begins to set in. Looks like we got a little weather moving in. Cloud cover and a couple of spots of rain. Up here, the weather changes instantly as storms sweep across 3,000 miles of tundra. And that isn't all we have to worry about.
Brian and Josh?
Yeah, what's the matter?
I don't know, he's checking the engine. It just seems like something's not working.
Can we turn around? Can we turn around?
Там что у вас случилось? Что с лодкой остановилась? Почему?
Yeah, they're not moving.
Yeah, something with engine.
For the engine. This is the wrong part of the world to get stranded. We don't have the resources or the time to waste. Any delay, and we might have to abandon our mission.
I think we broke down. We're having some engine trouble.
On our quest for mammoth DNA in northern Siberia, our convoy is heading up the Yana River, bound for a remote region where gray market ivory hunters have reportedly discovered pristine Ice Age remains. But now, one of our boats has conked out 100 miles from the nearest town. What's going on?
I think we broke down. We're having some engine trouble.
This is like my biggest fear out here, because if this boat breaks down and can't be restarted, we don't have a lot of room to absorb passengers and gear into the other boats. We're basically running fully loaded. So it just causes a problem that basically jeopardizes the whole mission at this point. Brian, Danny, we're gonna have to leave you guys here, I think. This is where we part company. It's been a real honor working with you.
No, I know you've got room in there.
Look, we're gonna send a party back in the spring for you guys, okay? You just gotta get through the winter.
All kidding aside, losing a boat at this point could doom the whole expedition. We're days from the nearest mechanic. But then, we catch a break.
Yes! Yes!
Go, coming back on. Freezing to death.
Guys, I was never really gonna leave you here. I was gonna leave them here. Okay, back underway. Let's do it. Back on the road.
Woo! Here we go.
No sooner do we get going again than the sky changes to match our mood. Once again, we're sailing through the 24-hour sunshine on the hunt for mammoth DNA. After nearly 11 hours, we're completely off the grid, out of touch with the rest of the world, and fast approaching a place that's determined to stay that way.
That looks like the edge of the camp right there. There's a boat there, so I think that's where we're going.
Unigan. Not a town or a village, just a ragged collection of campsites in the Siberian wilderness, where treasure hunters dig for valuable mammoth ivory, and they don't take kindly to strangers.
Hey guys, we're gonna stay in the boats here. Let's let Alexei and Simeon go up into the camp and talk with these guys. I think the best move is for us to stay put, okay?
Copy that.
Okay, Alexei,
Let's go.
it's up to you now.
Good luck.
Okay.
For me. Оставить открыто, чтобы посвежее было, да? Окей.
Okay.
I think the Russian guys are coming down right now.
Oh yeah, I see dudes. There's dudes up there.
Yeah.
Brian, there's some dudes up there in the trees, kind of starting to poke their heads out. Is it your 9 o'clock?
I think they're actually coming down.
There you go. Got him, got him, got him. These guys are coming out to meet them, Ebony.
Alexei and Simeon negotiate with the ivory hunters for safe passage. The wrong word in this situation could turn very dangerous.
It's really up to Alexei and Simeon to kind of work their magic, because I don't know if these guys would naturally say yes to something like this.
It'd be very surprising if they actually let us, film them at all.
Right. Right.
It takes long minutes, but eventually,
We are welcome here. They permitted us to stay here, but it's only problem that they have a request not to show their faces in our film. Yeah.
Okay, they don't want to be identified.
Yes, they don't.
Okay, that's fine. Looks like we're in.
the ivory hunters have allowed us into Unigan, and we have their permission to stay. But my sense is that most of them aren't people persons, so we unload our gear quickly and make our way into the main camp without trying to socialize.
Oh, these guys got a little village going in here.
We're clearly in the right place. In this particular campsite, there are 4 or 5 hunters who've been living here for the past 2 months. They fashioned a crude dining room, a kitchen, and to my surprise, a homemade sauna. We set up our tents at the edge of the site, hoping to get some much-needed shut-up. Morning comes quickly in Siberia, especially when there's no night. But our crack team is ready to tackle the big day.
Where am I?
Oh! Mosquitoes are terrible in Siberia.
To finally reach the Unigan dig site, we have to cross from the camp to the other side of the Yana River. Even this close, I have no idea what this ivory dig site is going to look like. Nothing like this has ever been documented before. We're way off script.
Looks like we're coming into some sort of bay.
Yeah.
I see stuff over there on the banks. You see that?
Some heads, some people over there. But I can't tell how many there are.
At long last, Unigan, the mother lode for Siberian tusk hunters.
Here we are. I'm not sure where, but we're here.
Out on the edge of nowhere, we discover an astonishing sight. Dozens of boats and crude platforms that have been converted into pumping barges. Filming is touch and go, because now we're in the company of more than 50 tusk hunters from campsites all over the river. There's a lot of eyes on us, and most of them are suspicious.
So I think it's like no faces, right? Either cut them off at the head, or we'll blur it out if they'll give us permission. But I don't think any of this stuff is on the books, you know?
Yeah.
Gas generators feed water into fire hoses that snake up the beach and into the surrounding woods. These are the tools of the tusk hunter's trade. We follow the hoses like breadcrumbs into the forest, eager to see where it all leads.
There's about, 10 fully pressurized fire hoses on this side of the bank, 7 or 8 on this side, all leading up valley.
We hike through torrents of water, rushing back down toward the beach, and eventually get to the end of the line. What we find is both breathtaking and horrifying.
Oh my God!
In northern Siberia, my quest for mammoth DNA has brought me to a quasi-legal mining operation, built to unearth ancient mammoth ivory from the permafrost.
All right, guys. So, Josh, this is a tunnel, so we can go inside here.
Oh my God.
We've arrived at our destination to find the earth gored open. Now, we suit up to enter a realm of ice, bone, darkness, and danger.
It's huge.
In a long career of traveling to risky locations, these tunnels are, without a doubt, the single most dangerous place I have ever set foot. Waterfalls of Ice Age mud and gravel roar out of the tunnels as the fire hoses continuously blast into the hills. None of the passages are structurally reinforced, and millions of pounds of ice hang precariously overhead.
Look at this place.
We carefully walk to the back of the tunnel, looking for preserved remains. It's Simeon who makes the first catch, and it's a doozy.
Josh, I think it's mammoth excrements.
That's mammoth poop?
I think so. Very.
What?
Oh, we are so lucky. You can smell it.
Yeah, I can smell it. Why did I do that? So what do you...
I'm so happy.
I've never seen a guy so happy to find poop before.
It might be gross, but it's also a big deal. This is only the second time that an intact mammoth dropping has been found in permafrost.
It's a very important scientific sample for extracting mammoth DNA of these mammoths. We can look at what these mammoths ate,
right?
And many other information. Much more rare find.
Wow.
Compared with bone.
That's amazing. That's really cool. So the scale of what is going on out here is extraordinary. Basically, all through this valley, you've just got claim after claim. Different tusk hunters that are using their own fire hoses to just blast away at the permafrost. And so Simeon, Alexei, Insung, and I, we're just going from site to site, trying to see what these guys have found and trying to determine if there's any DNA worth collecting.
The tunnels are claustrophobic and in a constant state of disintegration. One tunnel entrance gives way right next to my cameraman, Evan. We enter each tunnel with great trepidation, and we assess the samples as quickly as possible. Stay too long, and we risk becoming additions to the bone pile.
Femur of reindeer.
Reindeer.
The reindeer bones stay. We only have eyes for the mammoth.
Okay, no samples in there.
But if one cave doesn't have what we're looking for, there are hundreds more.
Oh, Josh.
What is it?
That's a neck bone of mammoth.
Mammoth neck bone.
One of the first vertebrae.
Neck bone, top of the vertebrae.
Good.
Look at that.
We each drag our finds into the clearing to evaluate what we've got.
Oh my God.
This is skull of woolly rhinoceros.
Woolly rhinoceros.
Woolly rhinoceros, yeah.
Look at the teeth.
In this area, the tusk hunters have found a particularly rich vein of mammoth remains. We're anxious to get a look inside, but before we even get a chance to ask, the ivory hunter is sounding an alarm.
Alexei! Yes,
Go. Get in there. Go ahead.
Женя, отводи в сторону.
Got a tusk.
Справа.
Right. Where is it? There! Aha! Look at that! Look at it!
Want even more Expedition Unknown? Then head over to travelchannel.com for exclusive photos, never-before-aired footage, and more. On the northern edge of Siberia, our trek into man-made ice tunnels to find mammoth DNA has been difficult and dangerous. But it seems like we've caught a lucky break.
Mama's tusk!
You got a tusk?
Right. That's it.
Where? Where is it?
Where's the tusk?
There! Aha!
Yeah.
Look at that! Look at it!
The big one.
Ha-ha!
It's right here.
Look at this thing!
Yeah. Wow.
Intact! He just knocked it out of the ice.
Very well preserved, according to the color that we see right now.
This tusk is an amazing find. It's why this entire camp is here, and why the ground is being turned into Swiss cheese. If we can get the tusk out of the ice quickly, we might be able to get a DNA sample before the hunters claim it.
Oh, there's
it's fallen. This ceiling's gonna come down on us. We're gonna be well preserved in here soon when the ceiling comes down. Let's see if we can get it out before this whole thing comes down, because he's loosened up all this stuff now with the hose. Okay, real careful, yeah?
Yeah. We don't want to break this thing.
Okay, let's try to get it out of here. Here we go. Alexei, I got a present for you.
Oh my God.
What do you think?
Unbelievable!
Yeah?
Excellent find. Beautiful preservation.
The clock is ticking, and the tusk is slippery, awkward, and weighs well over 100 pounds. It's crucial to get it out in one piece to protect any DNA inside. Also, a tusk this intact could be worth up to $50,000 to the miners. Chances are, they aren't just gonna let us walk away with this thing. Okay.
Adult male, fully mammoth.
Incredible. How old do you think this is?
We can estimate now it's 40,000 years ago.
Incredible.
This is really good because this tusk has been preserved very well. This is a very good sign, especially for this Unigen site.
Can you pull DNA out of this?
Sure. Very good material for extracting of DNA.
That's definitely a good start, yeah.
We've got a piece of the puzzle. Great find. It takes some delicate negotiating for permission to take a discrete sample, but we get our specimen and immediately put it on ice with the other finds. Alexei and Simeon believe we may have just found what we came for. With our cooler full of mammoth DNA, we're ready to go. But before we can leave, our tusk hunting hosts step in our way. Everything with these guys has been precarious, so I'm a little concerned when I see the main hunter descend into a makeshift cellar to grab something. We toast. The scientists to our successful mammoth mission, the hunters to a profitable day, and me to the hope that we don't all go blind here. Na zdrowie. Na zdrowie.
A po-якутски?
Чай.
Чай.
Jay. Here's a little travel tip. Don't drink with Russians. They will outpace you. It's a new day, I've got a splitting headache, and we load our precious cargo onto the boats. It's a 10-hour ride to Batagai, then a flight to the city of Yakutsk, where we're bringing our specimen to the lab of the Northeastern Federal University. To prepare our samples for testing, we slip on sterile gloves, and it's a good thing. First up is the mammoth poop. That is one big pile.
We only need a tiny piece of it for DNA extraction.
I wish I could tell you this is the first time I've had to put poo in a bottle, but it's not even the first time this season.
Nice.
There we go. We then prep the marrow from the Batagai crater, along with our other finds from Unigen. Bones check, poop check, we got it.
No, we have another sample.
You have another sample?
Upstairs, yes.
Lead the
Let's
way,
go.
please. Alexei has been holding out on me. He has one more mammoth specimen on ice for testing. He leads me into a sub-zero storage room to retrieve it.
Whew, strong smell.
Yeah,
What is this?
excellent specimen. It's a trunk of mammoth.
Are you kidding me?
No,
That is so incredible.
first time in the history of
Wow.
paleontology, the complete trunk of the mammoth. This is the tip of the trunk
Well, look at the preservation on it.
with wool.
With wool, the
With
wool of the woolly
everywhere,
mammoth.
yeah.
You're looking at the best preserved trunk of a woolly mammoth ever found. These remains were discovered by Simeon and his team on an island off the coast of Siberia.
That is incredible. And is this more of it here? Oh my God, this is the leg.
This is the leg.
Look at that.
This is the belly.
It's huge, look at it.
Excellent preservation.
Unbelievable. That is awesome.
When these remains were discovered a few years back, the technology to extract ancient and fragile DNA was in its infancy, so this mammoth has never been fully tested.
Okay, let's get some DNA out of it. All right.
We carefully take a small sample to add to our haul.
Mammoth belly.
From the freezer, we go to the genetics lab, where the lead technician will prepare our specimens for DNA analysis.
Hello.
We suit up to protect our samples from contamination. We don't want our Ice Age Siberian mammoth to read as a 30-something Massachusetts wiseass.
Okay, so what happens now?
So we have some chemicals here, some solutions, and we're gonna cut our sample into even smaller pieces
Got
so
it.
that we can decontaminate them before we actually carry on the experiment.
Okay, got it.
Each specimen is treated with enzymes that strip away everything except the DNA. It's an involved process, but once she's cleaned away 30,000 years of dirt and grime, it's amazing what we find.
Red meat.
Red meat, yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Unbelievable preservation.
Each specimen is cleaned, cut, and treated, then spun in a centrifuge to isolate any DNA. Finally, the sample is marked with dye and put on a slide, so the results can be viewed in an ultraviolet scanner.
Okay, moment of truth.
Thank you.
Here we go.
All right.
After thousands of miles of hiking, driving, boating, climbing, and digging across Siberia, we're about to learn if we've made history and can actually bring the woolly mammoth back to life.
Okay, let's see what we got.
At a genetics lab in Siberia, I'm about to find out if we've succeeded in tracking down a complete strand of mammoth DNA, the thing we need to actually clone the entire species back to life.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Okay, we got our results. And on the left, we see the reference. So basically, you start at the bottom. These are the shorter strands of DNA. And then on the top, we see longer pieces of DNA.
So this is just a guide here.
Right, this is the reference.
And if we had the complete DNA of a mammoth, if we had a live cell, what would it look like?
We'll see a line way up here.
Way up at the top. We would have something right up here.
Right.
That would be kind of complete.
Right.
Okay, so what have we got here?
These are some of the samples that you got from the Batagaica crater. It looks like we actually got some DNA from our samples.
Great.
We're getting shorter pieces of DNA, so maybe 300 to 500 base pairs.
Okay.
Which is, it belongs on the shorter side of things.
So are these shorter strands useful at all then?
They're very useful for the study of paleogenetics.
There are two ways to try to clone a mammoth. First, by using a complete intact strand of DNA. Or you can take shorter segments of the DNA and, through genetic engineering, attempt to knit them together to create the whole genome.
So we've got DNA, we're off and running.
Yeah, it's a good start for us, yeah.
Good, okay, let's check out the other sample.
Right, so these are some of the samples that we collected from Uningen. It looks like we were successful in collecting DNA from them as well.
There! Aha!
Yeah.
Look at that! Look at that!
This column here is from the tusk, and it looks like this one particularly is interesting because it's thick. the line is thick. That means there's a lot of DNA in whatever we extracted. But it's still fragmented, but it's really good because there's a lot of DNA in it.
That's great. That's really great.
We put the rest of our samples through the scanner with varying results, but nothing compares to our tusk when it comes to the number of base pairs. And then we test the mammoth carcass from upstairs.
All right, let's take a look at our next samples.
Oh.
That's higher.
It actually looks really great because if you compare it with the reference, it's actually above 2,000 base pairs. So this is probably better than anything we've found so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Up to this point, what's the best sampling you found?
So the best samples we found so far were maybe 1,200 or 1,300 base pairs from mammoth bone marrow in previous years.
Okay.
But this is surpassing those results. This is way above those results that we had before.
We've just seen history being made. This sample just yielded up the highest concentration of DNA base pairs ever found in a mammoth sample. But as good as it is, we've still got a ways to go.
This is great, maybe unprecedented, but not enough to make a mammoth.
This is not enough.
Not nearly, right?
Not nearly, but we just have to keep trying.
Well, that's a hell of a start. That's great.
Yeah, that's a great start, yes.
Yeah.
We've scored a hit. No, it's not a complete genetic sequence. There's lots left to do. But the information we acquired in this DNA will take us a giant step toward understanding both why the mammoth disappeared and how we might be able to bring them back. These are lessons that go far beyond the laboratory.
Thrilled to be here to see that. That's really something. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
In-Sung, thank you.
Thank you.
The woolly mammoth was once the dominant species on Earth, the original too big to fail. But facing a rapidly changing world and with a new predator in town, the mammoth didn't stand a chance. As I've explored the melting remains of Siberia's permafrost, it isn't hard to draw a straight line between their fate and our own. Technology is hurling us into a future where science fiction is fast becoming fact. To me, reviving the mammoth seems like a worthy enough endeavor. But the question is, what kind of world would a cloned mammoth be born into? On my journey, I came face to face with the results of a man-made environmental catastrophe.
Whoa.
And then bore witness to more destruction in progress. I'm in awe of the dedicated scientists traveling to the edge of the world to find elusive DNA. But if we plan to revive the dead, we've got to make an equal effort to preserve the living. We are melting the coldest regions of our planet, and our obsession with ivory may mean the extinction of living elephants and other endangered species. The woolly mammoth couldn't adapt, but hopefully we can. The future of its species, and of our own, may depend on it.